the old galley kitchen that we had fed into a small utility room that was small and difficult to cater for large numbers of as our extended family come back. It was getting hard, you couldn't share together in that one.
And our utility room that led out from the kitchen was the main route out to the garden, and utility rooms are never that pretty. We also, when we started looking at the plans, we looked at our downstairs toilet, which was under the stairs, and it's been a great asset, but it's really not very much used to anybody quite tall.
Reliability of them turning up on time, doing being focused on the job in hand rather than multiple jobs. So, spread too thinly, or, saying, yes, I'll do your job, and then at the same time be running another job down the road and not, be sharing their time. And you don't know that until you've started on the journey. Of course, always would be the worry about escalating costs that might, roll through, and you hope that the costs that you've been, estimated based on the plans will, be met. So I mean, they were probably the main two, with that one. I mean, beyond that, of course, these days, I guess things like being able to look on places like Checkatrade and see people giving, reviews and saying how good people are, does help. You're not totally in the dark with that.
I knew the company had been a local company for a very long time, so that was a reassurance. We also knew that you were a company who had a couple of teams around. It gave us a bit of confidence that we were in a company where the work would probably still go on because you could move people around if one person was ill. And we liked the communication that we got from you. The really big thing was that you could do the work in the autumn into the winter, whereas someone else we got a quote from couldn't start until this spring now. And it meant that we had, having finally decided to do it, and had the plans for about 6 months sitting there, that we really could actually get on and have the work done and be using it this spring.
Yes, I think they did. I think we knew it would be hard work. This is on our side, and we recognised that it was very hard work for those doing the building work, but I think it was that constant interruption in your daily routine for a period that you put your life to a certain extent on hold. But I think actually our experience of the team was fantastic. We had a great team with Paul and Steve and the others that came through, and everyone that came through from the company, either directly or that people were linked to the company, like the electricians and so forth, were all not only highly skilled, but able to communicate with us about what was happening, and were happy to stop to chat to us, and were able to rethink approaches and help us redesign and tweak the design of the space so that it met the needs that I wanted us to, like the putting in the shower could happen. It could still meet the right safety requirements, still make the room usable, and so it was not impossible to just adjust things as we went along. So in that way, our experience was better than our expectations. We hoped to have a good time with the team that came in, but we had a fantastic time. So
we knew that we could ask anything, and it wouldn't any odd question, and nobody would say, "Don't you know that?" or just there'd be no sucking of teeth. It would just be, so there's this issue, or you're a bit concerned about that. This is how we can sort that, or this is how we'll fix it. It was very much a can-do, get things sorted. We can work on that. And
the experience that they all brought to the job, and a lot of them have had many years' experience in the building trade, which actually turned out to be really positive, because they were able to look at a difficult task and create something out of it really simply that works really well. And one of the features in our corner storage cupboard in the kitchen, in order for it to work, a different approach was used to the designs that were provided by the kitchen company, and it's brilliant. The simple use of piano hinges just transforms it, and it's even that's a very small thing in a big work. It still means that you've got that sense that people understand what they're doing really well and are able to find a different approach to it that works. So it was fantastic. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we're getting used to living in it, and as always, some of I'd begun to realise towards the end that some of the space is never quite as big as you first think it is because of rules that change over insulation that building control insist on. And so we've got to readjust some of how we thought we might use it, but we've got time for that. This wasn't meant to be a room that extension that you started using completely from day one. It allows us to grow with it. But with the family around, to be able to use this new space where we're sitting and have everybody, relating closely to the kitchen work really well. And as part of the work, but independent of this extension, we had we changed the patio outside, and so everything now flows. So it works really well together. So yes, we are very pleased. I mean, yes, it was disturbing, but it didn't matter. It worked well. The team were good, as we said. So since then, I think we've just found it works well for us. We walk in and it just feels natural to go to the places where the kitchen has ended up, or come and use the extension room. Where at the moment we have dining furniture for either just for doing some work or to eat or to socialize with people. Works just really well. So it's worked well, and we've been very pleased with that.
I think the impact of living with the furniture that we had to take out and store around the house, and then bits of things like when the new shower base arrived and the doors, or when we had some stuff we could put in the garage, but there was some stuff we just had to live with, and that was more of a strain than I expected. We knew it was coming to an end. We knew it would all get better. It's definitely well worth it.
Yes,
absolutely.
And we have already at least to one who I know you're in communication with it. But yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, we'd be very, very happy to recommend BBS for all sorts of reasons. But yeah, really good company to work with.
I think we've covered it in those areas. I wanted to make sure the team were commended in this, because I think they made a big difference to the work, and the guys you've employed to do that, through the company, are fantastic at their job, and the ones that we were working with, and so it was very reassuring. And so I think that's one of the things I wanted to make sure we did comes over in this conversation. So I think that was able to happen. So yeah.